Welcome to Cravings Control for Fat Loss. I'm your host, Laura Cavallo, former sugar binger, overeater, and yo-yo dieter turned fat loss and cravings coach for hundreds of busy women. Here at Cravings Control for Fat Loss, I'll be sharing mindset, movement, and metabolism strategies for those who are ready to ditch the fat diet cycle and slim down without counting calories, tracking points, or giving up any of the foods they love. Get ready to embrace progress over perfection, grace over guilt, and bring curiosity and learning to the inevitable ups and downs of your life. Expect a decrease in your cravings while seeing and feeling an improvement in how you look, how you feel, and your overall quality of life. I am so excited you're here, boo. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode of Cravings Control for Fat Loss. My name is Laura Cavallo, your cravings coach, and today I'm sharing 7 Satisfull Plate ideas for less cravings. Now, this is a really important episode because I get a lot of people asking me, well, can you share recipes with me? Can you, what are you eating? Can you tell me exactly what to eat? Do you have a meal plan for this, right? And when it comes to Satisfull Plates, I think it's important to understand that this is more of a guide that is meant to fit with your lifestyle versus me telling you exactly what to eat. Now, with that being said, I do understand that trying to come up with meal ideas can be challenging and frustrating, and especially if you like variety. So I hope that today's episode will give you a little bit of inspiration to expand your horizons and start to think outside the box a little bit. But before we dive in, I want to thank our listeners for leaving reviews on the podcast, whether it's on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And I actually want to read one that pulled at my heartstrings. So let me pull it up. Ninners80 says, realistic advice. Not sure how I ended up following her, but so happy I found this podcast. She is very relatable, empathetic, and provides helpful tips with nutrition. Her guests have also been so interesting as well. I want to thank Ninners for her review, and I also want to let you know that if you are enjoying the podcast, it would mean a great deal to me if you left a 5-star review with just 1 or 2 sentences of what you like about the podcast, or something that you've learned, or some sort of useful information that you are applying now. So thank you for taking the time out to leave that review if you can and will, and thank you again to Ninners for that review. Okay, so let's dive into 7 Satisfull Plate ideas for less cravings. Now, if you've been following the podcast for any amount of time, or even me on Instagram, you know Satisfull Plates is your North Star, okay? It is your North Star for less cravings, more satisfaction, more fullness, and really your primer for fat loss and weight loss if that's one of your goals. So before we get into the podcast, I'm going to review Satisfull Plates again, because I realize some listeners just started listening to this podcast and are maybe, not listening from episode number 1, in which case, if you haven't gone back and listened to some of our first early episodes, go ahead and check them out. I talk about misconceptions around cravings and cravings tips and all sorts of stuff. So anyway, let's review Satisfull Plates. So Satisfull Plates has 4 parts, okay? This is your guide for building your plates. Part number 1 is lean, L-E-A-N. This stands for feed the lean muscle, okay? And lean is a protein-forward food, meaning that we want to plate 1 to 2 palm-sized amounts of a protein-forward food on our plate. Now, this does not have to be a lean protein. Lean stands for feed the lean muscle mass, okay? Protein is the building block of muscle, and it is so vitally important for keeping you full, keeping you satiated, and for cravings control. Your lean could be any protein that you prefer. It could be eggs, beef, turkey, chicken. It could be tofu. It could be edamame. It could be beans if you are vegan or vegetarian, okay? So we start plating with our protein. That is the first thing we look for when we build our meals. The second part to Satisfull Plates is DETOX. DETOX stands for a fruit or vegetable, and you're going to plate 1 to 2 palm-sized amounts of fruit or vegetable on your plate. Fruits and vegetables are so important for cravings, hunger, nourishment, digestion, keeping you healthy, having everything function properly, keeping your mood elevated, giving you natural energy, providing you with minerals and vitamins and fiber and water. It is so important that you're including fruits and vegetables in your diet and 1 to 2 palm size amounts of a fruit or vegetable per meal. Okay. One tip is that I like to have vegetables as my detox for 2 of my main meals. So you can choose, maybe that's lunch and dinner, since veggies tend to be more like savory, right? Instead of breakfast, which some people prefer to be sweet. And that's not to say that you can't have fruit with lunch or dinner, but definitely try to have vegetables for 2 of those main meals. The last part is CRAVE. Okay, CRAVE is going to be a smaller portion of any food that you prefer that gives you the yum yums, that makes your meal delicious for you, that makes you say, oh my God, I cannot wait to eat this friggin' breakfast. I cannot wait to dive into this lunch. Your CRAVE is going to be individual to you, just like the lean that you choose and the detox that you choose is going to be individual to you. CRAVE could be, so some people say like, so is CRAVE carbs, is CRAVE's fats, is CRAVE's like sugar and junk food. CRAVE is all that, okay? CRAVE is anything that is not a protein forward food or a detox food. Okay, so CRAVE can be starches and carb forward foods. It could be fats like avocados, olives, nuts, seeds. Now, of course, things like beans have some protein in them, right? But they're more of a carb source. So they're going to be more in the CRAVE bracket. Things like avocado, yes, it's technically a fruit or a vegetable. However, whatever you want to designate for your avocados, I think technically they're fruits, but it is more of a fat source. So we want to have it in a smaller portion as our CRAVE. Okay, so anything that's not a protein forward food or a fruit or a vegetable, it's going to fall under CRAVE. Okay. CRAVE can be alcohol. It could be cereal. It could be bagels. It could be bread. It could be a piece of cake. It could be a muffin. It could be a croissant. Okay. And then the last part to Satisfull Plates is to observe. How does this meal make you feel right after, in the coming hours, and up to 4, 5, and 6 hours? Okay. And in the Cravings Cleanup Challenge, which is going to start on Sunday, September 10th, I will teach you 2 things to observe around your meals. Okay. I'm not going to complicate it for you. There's like 10 things that we could observe based on how our meals make us feel, but we're just going to observe 2 of those things. Okay. And that's going to help you inform the choices that you make for the next meal based on your cravings, based on your hunger, based on how that meal sits with you. Okay. Now I know what you might be thinking. It's like, okay, like you're giving me this guide, but you're not telling me exactly what to eat. Like in my past diets or these past programs, like I had a list of foods that I could eat and foods that I couldn't eat. And, should I stay away from dairy? Should I stay away from gluten? And I want you to know that this is not by chance. Okay. Satisfull Plates is designed in this way for a few reasons. The first is that we all have different preferences and cultural differences, okay? What I prefer to eat, the type of proteins I like to eat, the type of vegetables I prefer to eat, the type of crave that I prefer is going to be different than you, right? I'm like a chocolate sweets girl. You might be a savory, salty person. So if I give you a meal plan that with breakfast, it's like an omelet with some fruit and like a muffin, you might be like, I don't want a muffin. Like, I want some bacon, right? So I'm not going to tell you exactly what to eat because we're all individuals. We need to create space for your personal preferences, your cultural differences, your access to certain foods. So that's why Satisfull Plates is so beneficial, is because it allows you that personal preferences wrapped into there. The second reason why Satisfull Plates is specifically designed in a way to provide you with more guidance versus exactly what to eat is that this plate method allows you to create meals from anywhere, anytime, without being tied to having to eat from home or at a certain time. You can use Satisfull Plates to guide your food choices when you're at a restaurant, while you're on vacation, while you're at a beer festival or a concert, or maybe your weekly happy hour with girlfriends. This is not about controlling every food option, about every single food bite. It's about learning how to build your plate with flexibility, with what you have on hand, with your preferences, with what you like and where you are. Because guess what? This is exactly how your life plays out. Your life is not predictable. Things come up, stress happens, travel plans are made, people get sick. You need your nutrition to be flexible and ride an ebb and flow with your lifestyle. It's not about forcing a nutrition style into your lifestyle. It's about them working together in an ebb and flow. So that's why Satisfull Plates are awesome anywhere, anytime using this guide. The third critically important element of Satisfull Plates and why I don't tell you exactly what to eat is because I want to invite you to connect with your body, how your body responds to certain foods. I want you to plate the foods that you enjoy and make decisions for your next meal based on how your body feels and the response that food gives you, right? For example, we've all had meals where afterwards we get gas and indigestion and we're like, oh, like that did not make me feel good. Like I had a headache, I was irritable, like went to the bathroom right afterwards. Ugh. So many of us are ignoring that and just being like, well, whatever. Like the food was good, so I'm still going to eat it, right? But you're not saying to yourself like, oh shit, like that meal is what actually made me feel shitty. Maybe next time I'm not going to choose that food because I've been feeling so good with these other Satisfull Plates that I've been creating. I have more energy. I'm more focused. I have less of a foggy brain. I have more energy. My digestion's on point, right? So slowly, as you bring in this observation part of Satisfull Plates, you actually realize, holy shit, like food can make me feel so good. And then it helps guide your next food choices. So if I was just telling you, like, you're going to have a burger tonight with a side salad and sweet potato fries, and you're just eating it because that's what's on the meal plan, but you don't actually like sweet potato fries, or you don't prefer beef, you prefer a turkey burger or a veggie burger, you are still just going to be eating foods out of obligation versus like, what do you prefer and what does your body actually like to eat and want to eat? So while you may not get told exactly to eat this or not that, or the amounts or when, you have a very powerful guide at your fingertips to help you execute plates and meals that will help control cravings, decrease cravings, avoid overeating later, and really put you in the driver's seat with your nutrition choices and help you feel more confident and in control during these more unpredictable situations. So while I'm not going to tell you exactly what to eat, I am going to share with you 7 different types of foods that easily follow the Satisfull Plate Guidelines. Okay. The first type of foods are salads. Salads you can easily build into a Satisfull Plate, right? Lean, you can choose any protein, shrimp, chicken, ground beef, ground turkey, steak. Detox is going to be the greens and all the other veggies that you add in, the cucumbers, the peppers, the carrots. And then you're going to add some CRAVE to make sure that this salad is fucking yum yum. Is it going to be a creamy dressing, or is it going to be some croutons? Is it going to be some olives or some candied walnuts? Now, I get this question a lot. What if you have multiple CRAVE items in your meal? You are going to serve yourself each of those CRAVE items in a smaller portion than you normally would. So you can still have the creamy dressing with the croutons, with some candied walnuts or whatever I said, but you're just going to have a lesser amount of each one than you normally would. Okay. So you want to think about leading with lean and detox and sprinkling in some of that CRAVE to give you the yum yums. The second type of food are soups. Okay. Soups are going to provide you, especially veggie soups, are going to provide you with that lean and that detox. So you can do like a chicken veggie soup, or you can do a Italian wedding soup with some escarole and some greens in it. Okay. Soup bases can come from vegetables or broth, or like beef broth or chicken broth or vegetable broth. And then you want to add in a lot of vegetables with this. Any type of veggies that you want. You can make a Mexican style veggie soup. You can do an Italian style veggie soup. You could even do like a Thai based veggie soup. And then your CRAVE, you're going to get some of that from the broth if you're doing things like creamier soups that have like dairy in them, or maybe have a little bit more sodium, or maybe you top the soup with a little bit of cheese, or you're adding some crumbled bacon on top or some croutons. Now, something that I like to keep in mind when creating things like soups is that you still want to make sure that you're getting 1 to 2 palm-sized amounts of protein and 1 to 2 palm-sized amounts of detox per serving. So sometimes I like to cook my protein separately, and then I'll plate myself with the soup. It's like a veggie soup. And then I'll just put 1 to 2 palm-sized amount of protein in that soup when I've already plated it for myself to ensure that I'm leading with that protein. So that's a little tip for you. The third type of Satisfull plate that you can create is a scramble. Okay, eggs are a great source of protein. I like to, when I do scrambles or omelets, I like to do like 1 or 2 whole eggs and add some egg whites in there. This is really easy to add vegetables to, or you can do a side of steamed veggies or add a side of fruit as your detox. And then CRAVE could be anything. If you're having this for lunch, you can do like a little piece of Italian bread. You can add some avocado on the side. If you're doing this for dinner, you could maybe do like a quiche, right? And make like a quiche. In that's going to be eggs, probably some veggies, maybe some cheese. I would suggest maybe an extra side salad to boost that detox, because in maybe 1 or 2 slices of that quiche, maybe you're not going to be getting enough of those veggies. So you can amp up the veggies with a little side salad. So scrambles are a great way to lead with the lean and the detox portions. The next type of Satisfull plate idea is a stir fry. Okay. Stir fries are protein and veggie based. Okay. Add some soy sauce or some ginger sauce, or get yourself a yummy teriyaki sauce that you like. You can make your lean anything that you want. It could be a shrimp stir fry. It could be a beef stir fry. It could be a chicken stir fry. Okay. This is really fun because you get to try different sauces and different flavors and maybe you're used to. Like, I know I'm not always defaulting to like soy or ginger marinades or teriyaki marinades or even peanut sauce marinades, because I usually just go out and eat sushi, and that's kind of like my Japanese like treat per week. But see if you can find some marinades that you enjoy. Now, if you are going to add sauces, that is going to be your CRAVE. Okay. Try to look for marinades that have lower sugar, that aren't going to calorie bomb for a serving. Okay, now have some. Like, I'm not saying like go crazy trying to find the lowest sugar, lowest fat type of thing. The idea is that you want to enjoy this. You want to enjoy the flavor. Alternatively, you can make your own homemade marinades. Okay, you can do like peanut sauce at home. You can do like a ginger soy marinade at home. But just know that stir fries are a great lunch and dinner option, and you can play around with the different types of sauces and flavorings. In the same light, skillets are really fun. Okay, skillets are really fun. Think of like fajitas, chicken fajitas, steak fajitas, peppers, onions, carrots, zucchini. Okay, these are really fun. Similar to stir fries, but on a skillet. The sixth type of Satisfull plate idea are to create bowls. Shrimp bowls, beef bowls, veggie bowls. And I like to have my bowls with rice and salad. So I do half and half. So I like to make like ground beef bowls, like taco bowls. And I'll do like ground beef or ground turkey or like a combo of both. I'll add in some veggies like corn and peppers and tomatoes. And then for my CRAVE, I'll do like some avocado in there and some hot sauce, and then I'll mix it up. If I want a little more CRAVE, like maybe I've worked out that day or I'm really hungry, like I'll do half a serving of some rice. And then if I want a little bit added detox and some veggies in there, I can boost that with some greens, some shredded lettuce, or you can do some sauteed veggies on the side as well. And then the last type of Satisfull plate is bakes. Okay, sheet pans, bakes. You can bake a chicken with veggies on the side. You can do a London broil with veggies on the side. You can do pork, you can do meatloaf, any sort of lean, lead with that, and then make some veggies on the side. So these are 7 Satisfull Plate meal ideas to help expand your horizon, start to think outside the box about different types of foods that you can create without telling you exactly what to eat for the very reasons I outlined above. So I would love to hear if this episode was helpful or if you have any other ideas for Satisfull Plate type ideas. So go ahead and shoot me a message on Instagram. I've linked my profile below. Would love to hear from you and what you thought of today's episode. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much for being here.